right, I think we're on. Let's go. What up? What up? Okay, look, I know the first podcast was long. Look, full disclaimer on the last podcast. It was my first one in a while. I probably said some crazy stuff. Hopefully you got in the comments and commented on it and told me that I'm an idiot. And that's fine. Okay, we're looking forward to that stuff, and I'm releasing the first episode right before this episode, so it's like being released at the same time. But this one is being recorded today, May 4th, I think, or yesterday. It depends on exactly when I put it out. I'm gonna try to put it out today, but I had to build the infrastructure for the how I was going to edit the podcast, because I edit it all myself. I am my own producer, my own editor, and all that other good stuff, so you got to get all the ducks in a row, and I was nowhere close to it when I recorded the podcast and thinking I was going to put it out on Monday. So we're getting there. Probably only on YouTube and Spotify and maybe Rumble, but we're going to expand eventually. I don't have a website yet, so it's probably just a video version of the podcast. Maybe there's an audio version on Spotify. I'm not really sure. Not really sure yet, but hopefully I can get this out today, at least on YouTube. Anyway, what's up? It's Events with Vince. I was going to change the title to the podcast too, but decided to keep it because I had already had an X account dedicated to it. I was going to say in an email, but I don't think I have an email dedicated to events. Either way, we're here now. It was a fun first episode, but what are we going to talk about today? Okay? We went really political last time. I think we need to lighten things up. Of course it's going to be political. Everything's fucking political now. You can't talk about music without it being political. But today we're going to talk about the reclassification of cannabis, marijuana, from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. It is a awesome time to be a weed smoker. Me, myself, I'm going to go on a little hiatus here in a little while. So hopefully I'll be able to partake in the initial festivities once the reclassification is, official. And we're going to dive into it. I got the report or the press release from the DOJ. So we'll get into that and talk about some of the stuff that they're talking about in there, and what they plan on do with this reclassification of marijuana or cannabis. They call it marijuana in the Department of Justice. I like calling it cannabis. Doesn't cannabis just seem a little bit more like sophisticated rather than marijuana? I don't know. I like both names, but cannabis just sounds like, ooh, I got this cannabis, and it comes in a glass jar, and it's beautiful. Personally, I think all drugs should be reclassified at some point. I feel like there's uses for most drugs. I mean, if you can find use with opiates, there's obvious uses for uppers. I just think that after, maybe the locked in flat rate age of usage, it probably isn't a good thing to legalize every meth for everybody that's 21 and over. You know what I mean? So I personally think that all drugs should be legal. But maybe the age restrictions should be a little, I feel like if you're 50 years old, you should be able to do any drug. You should be able to present your license, and you go to the OTC, and you go, hey, can I get some crack, please? And you're like, can I check your ID? And then you hand them your ID, and you get your crack. And he's like, oh, born in, how would you be if you're 50? what is it, 74? Born in, or 1976, born in 1976. Make sure this is, all right, sir, here's your crack. And you should be able to buy crack if you want to. You know, certain age for certain drugs. You should be able to, you know, regulating the illegal drug market would probably be like super hard though, because now you could go into war with fucking cartel and shit. But I feel like the cartels and shit, they would have a way to transition to a legal drug market. Like, it's not all about there's something else. I feel like they just get more money from it being illegal. That's why they don't want to do it. I feel like the cartels could transition to proper pharmacists. I don't think that's that hard. Anyway, the reclassification of cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. What a awesome day it is for us weed smokers who have been smoking weed the entire time. It's cool for the businesses though, and it's cool if you're getting into that business because now, I mean, they're making it a lot easier. Let's just get into the article. They're making it a lot easier for you as a cannabis business owner to use banks. Let's get into it. There's a couple of steps to making this a thing, and this is this article is, of course, like I said, from the DOJ, and it is basically just the press release of the Justice Department placing FDA-approved marijuana products and products containing marijuana subject to a qualifying state-issued license in Schedule 3, strengthening medical research while maintaining strict federal controls. Which isn't like, you know, they're like, we'll release it for medical, you know, we'll make it, you know, a little easier for them to, you know, research medically, but, you know, we still want the restrictions on it for consumption and for recreational consumption, which is like, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, a bummer, fucking bummers running around. All right. So here, the article is going to start off. In accordance with President Trump's December 18, 2025 executive order on increasing medical marijuana and cannabis research, the Justice Department and Drug Enforcement Administration today announced the issuance of an order immediately placing both FDA-approved products containing marijuana and marijuana products regulated by a state medical marijuana license to Schedule 3 of the Controlled Substance Act, as well as the initiation of an expedited administrative hearing process to consider the broader rescheduling of marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. The new hearing, beginning June 29th, 2026, will provide a timely and legally compliant pathway to evaluate broader changes to marijuana status under federal law. Together, these actions provide immediate and long-term clarity to researchers, patients, and providers alike, while still maintaining strict federal controls against illicit drug trafficking. I think that's pretty cool. That's like a critical, thoughtful consideration to me, which is a good step forward for marijuana. I mean, it's been literally demonized. No matter how you feel about cannabis and marijuana products, has been literally demonized for so long. And really all it is it's just a powerful substance. You know, it's a powerful substance that grows out of the fucking ground. And if you're not privy to it, if you're not willing to understand it, if you're not willing to respect it, it'll fucking take you under, just like any drug will. You know, I mean, it's funny. It's kind of, you know, like a trope, like of like people going to NA for marijuana being like pussies or whatever, but still, like, fucking, you can get highly addicted to marijuana. And I think that a lot of it, that, you know, when you're dealing with like stuff like that has like big power dynamics like that, like marijuana or even guns, like some, you know, you can't have some people around fucking guns. They just go crazy. Just like some people can't drink. I know this one guy, he takes 2 sips of alcohol, 2 sips, not 2 drinks, 2 sips. And he is a literal different person. Like, you're like, what the fuck is this thing? Where does this creature come from? You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that just can't drink, just like there's some people that just can't do alcohol. There's some people that are all just, you know, allergic to foods. And that has more to do with like enzymes and stuff, more likely. And I don't really, I'm not a fucking doctor, but I feel like that, you know, you really got to know your body. Everybody just can't do cocaine. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a percentage of the population that just fucking doesn't have the same reaction as the general, you know, population does. Like, you know, we're all up and fucking having parties and fucking, it's all a fucking fun time. Where some people it just makes paranoid, or some people it just fucking just like your body just what is it, like doesn't want it. I forgot what that word is, but you know what I mean. Your body just rejects it. Yeah, your body rejects it, and it's just like, fuck that shit. What the fuck is this shit? So you really got to be, you know, and everybody say, free will, if you don't smoke weed, you're a square. And it's like, oh man, like, if you judge people on whether they smoke weed or not, you're kind of a square, because it ain't about free will. Everybody's so contradictory. But anyway, you know, it's you really just got to know who you are. You know, if you smoke weed and you don't feel good when you smoke it, like, probably shouldn't smoke it. If you feel great when you smoke it, then fucking smoke it. Like, if you feel fucking more energetic, more productive, you know, or if you like being fucking lazy and eating Cheetos because you're overproductive most of the time, you know, smoke it, do it, fuck it, sniff it. But just know what it is, you know what the reality of the thing is that you're doing. You're doing a substance. You're inviting the substance into your body that usually depletes, you know, the things that makes it work. You know, it's like, you know, driving a high octane engine. Like, you just can't put fucking shit oil in it and shit gas in it. Like, you have to put good stuff in it if you're redlining it, if you're driving it hard. And doing drugs is like driving your car real hard. Like, you have to do the maintenance on it. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get back to this fucking thing here. Reclassification of cannabis. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is placing both FDA-approved drug products containing marijuana and medical marijuana products subject to qualifying state-issue license in Schedule 3 under his authority to reschedule drugs to carry out United States obligation under the Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs. This action recognizes the long-standing regulation of medical marijuana by state governments and the need for a common-sense approach to this reality. Which is basically what I basically just said that. They stole it from me. They stole it from me. They said AI Vifen, AI Vince, AIV. How can we make this make sense to the public? The Department of Justice is delivering on President Trump's promise. This is from Todd Blanche. To expand Americans' access to medical treatment options. This rescheduling action allows for research on the safety and efficacy of the substance, ultimately providing patients with better care and doctors with more reliable information. Under the direction of President Trump and Acting Attorney General Blanche, DEA is expeditiously moving forward with the administrative hearing process, bringing consistency and oversight to an area that has lacked both. Hey, amen. Says DEA Administrator Terry Cole. Our men and women in law enforcement remain committed to fighting drug cartels, the fentanyl epidemic, and protecting American lives. You gotta protect American life. Yeah, because like I said, the cartels, I feel like the cartels can make the transition to legal business. You know, I don't think it's all about the cartel. I think that there may be something else going on, some other kind of money dynamic going on that's tangled up in all the restriction, regulation, and just plain bureaucracy of legalized drugs. And I think that they've bogged people down, at least in today's day and age, with so much information that we have to discern, and not truth, not like the information that's true or actual news information, but just bullshit. Just not even news, what I would say, just statements, you know, true, untrue, imaginary, made up, just these creative statements that just are pushed down the pipe of social media into everybody's fucking algorithm. It's just brain rot, useless statements, misrepresentations, malinformation, misinformation, and then some good information. And who knows what is right? You know what I mean? At this point, you know, if you're not like somebody who's like, deeply into researching, like some sort of student somewhere, or somebody who's like learning a craft, or a fucking podcaster, for God's sakes. If you're not, you know, in the information, like in the routine of getting information, how the fuck are you gonna know anything? You're just gonna have to take somebody's word for it who you find credible. So it's all gonna be a mess. I think it's gonna be a mess. Like with all of the AI. This is I said something about AI in the last podcast, and I totally forgot what it was. But I believe it. I believe that wholeheartedly. Whatever I said, I've doubled down on it. I don't know what I said, but you know, I feel like I don't know. For some reason, it doesn't feel as innovative as like the internet. You know what I'm saying? The internet was a great innovation. And you know what kind of annoys me about the whole AI thing is they try to make it seem like it's like this magic, like they're inventing consciousness. And it's like, you're not. It's a series of tubes. You know what I mean? Just like the one fucking guy said, you know what I'm saying, about the internet. The man was not wrong, okay? And y'all shit on him, okay? Somebody showed this man what the internet was, and he was like, so it's just a series of tubes? And they were like, it's not just tubes. It's like, looks like a bunch of fucking tubes to me. And he went up there and he told the American people, he was like, look, the shit's just some tubes. And we were like, idiot. He thinks it's not magic. But that's what AI is. It's a fucking series of tubes. Some nerd programming his fucking girlfriend. That's what it is. Fucking weird science ass bullshit. I'm sorry. I hate to be a curmudgeon about new technological advances, because I really do I love technology. I'm sitting here in my fucking Walmart asset protection office. I got a fucking steering wheel right here for racing. I have dual monitor. This one's curved. Fucking microphone just sitting right here. Just sitting here. Just a microphone just sitting here. Not this mic. This is one mic. And this is another mic. Just sitting here. Speaker. Just a fucking speaker. Just technology all over the place. Phone. phone. You want another phone? There's a one right back there. There's technology. There's two glowing keyboards right here. You know what I'm saying? I am no stranger to technology. Just technology. Hey, you need your batteries charged? I got you, dog. Okay? You need an extra case of Bluetooth earphones? I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a stranger to technology. I got technology all over the place. Need an extra webcam? I got you, son. Okay? It's just something fishy. Something fishy about it. And I know a lot of podcasters are talking, this is one thing about good information is it rises to the top, and that's the stuff that people speak about the most. But in that, people do kind of fearmonger. We either fearmonger or we placate. We're like, it's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be that bad. I think it's gonna be somewhere in between, just like everything is. They're gonna find some way to make it a commodity. They're gonna find some way to make it unavoidably useful in some areas, and for some areas, it is unavoidably useful. But should be wary of mistakes. That shit makes mistakes a lot. So, in what capacities are we going to have it working in to where it's going to have to make decisions? Hopefully there's somebody or something overseeing it to where it catches those weird AI hallucinations and the such. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Reclassification. How much time do we got left? I'm trying to make this 30 minutes. If we're just talking about reclassification the whole time, then so be it. I can't see my time because my fucking bar won't go away. Why? Why is this? Oh, jeez. I can't see how long the pod's been going. This is a terrible day. Okay, there we go. 22 minutes. Jesus. Okay, we got 8 minutes, guys. Let's make this fast. Let's make this quick. Separately, all right, we're continuing with the reclassification. Separately, the department announced procedural updates to expedite the ongoing rulemaking process required to fully remove marijuana from Schedule 1 and place it into Schedule 3 under the Controlled Substance Act. Under the prior administration, a notice of proposed rulemaking was published in the Federal Register on May 21st, 2024, followed by a notice of hearing on August 29th, 2024. Upon further review, the DEA is withdrawing that prior notice of hearing and terminating those proceedings in order to move more efficiently towards the completion of marijuana's complete redesignation. Never been so proud of the DEA in all my life. This action will accelerate the administrative process, include firm deadlines, and allow DEA to proceed in the most expeditious manner consistent with federal law. DEA will hold a new administrative hearing beginning June 29th, 2026, and I will be covering that. We'll be seeing what's going on. Regarding the proposed rescheduling of marijuana, a notice of hearing is being published by the Federal Register to govern these proceedings and facilitate a timely resolution of the lawmaking. Today's order is reflective of the Department of Justice's continued dedication to common sense policies and a prioritization of the safety and well-being of all Americans. Like, when I read shit like that, I feel a little more patriotic. They may be blowing smoke. But, it got dark. I turned off that screen and it got dark. I feel patriotic when I read stuff like that. When I was reading that, you know what I heard? I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. That was playing in my head while I was reading that, Red, white, and blue. Okay. Basketball. America. No, I think I honestly think it's great. It's great for the taxes. We pay 35% taxes on cannabis now. If they don't pass that tax saving, and this is one thing that the cannabis industry is going to have to do, is pass if it does get reclassified, if recreational does get reclassified, they have to pass that tax savings onto the customer. Now, obviously, they're still going to get regular retail tax or, consumable tax. So it's going to go from like 35 to 12 or something like that. I don't know what LA is going to be, but it's going to be a percentage of what it used to be. That'll be awesome. But what I think they should do is just incrementally give the money back to the people, because I think that, you don't want to over demand the market to where you don't have enough supply now because you marked all your product down, because of the taxes or whatever. So I say like an incremental lowering, keep the supply chain going nice. Don't disrupt the supply chain by making these wild swings. And it should be good, but they really should pass that savings on, like a lot of it. Because like, Jesus, you pay, at least here in LA, I mean, if you buy eighth for $20, you're paying $40. It feels like it. You're not. You're paying. What are you paying? You're paying for $20. You're paying $36. That eighth that would usually be $20 or $25 is $30 or $40. Damn, it took a long time to say that. But that's because they reclassified cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. So thank you, Department of Justice. At least they're doing something right. I mean, they are murdering everybody else in the world, but our government is just bombing everybody else. But dude, marijuana reclassification? Yes, please. Yes, please. Look, there's enough people talking about the political turmoil going on in our everydays, in our U.S. and international governments, and in our foreign policy. There's plenty of podcasters talking about that. Not enough podcasters are advocating for dynamic age restrictions on legal drug use and recreational fun drug use. There's not enough of us. Okay? You go, okay? You drink some water the day before. You drink some water the day before your 2-day bender. You take double up on vitamins. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. And you party. That's what I do. Too old for the clubs. I'll still go to a rave. What is it about a rave that's different than a club? I think raves are just more fun. It's more about music. It's not about like picking up fucking people and shit. That's why I like raves better. Raves are awesome. Anyway, all right. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I think we had a good episode about talking about reclassification. We even snuck a little AI in there. And the Pistons. Let's go Pistons. Won Game 7. I mean, you can't really get any better than that. You can't get in a better week than that. The Pistons won. Drugs are almost legal. What else you want? You want some cookies? Want some cookies too? All right. Well, thank you for listening to me. This has been Events with Vince. I think that is going to be it for today. All right. Everybody go to bed. It's bedtime. Go to bed. Sleep.